Hari Om. So I am continuing comparative religions, Hinduism versus Christianity, in my concluding parts. Then I shall extend the other aspects of Hinduism, the other philosophy behind that. So this is part number 28, English. So the most of the tenets of Bible or Christianity, especially by the Europeans, I don't say they are based on 100% truths. Some could be untruth, like in the 15th century and all, Bruce, because he found out that through astronomy, that Earth is not the center of this solar system, and it is the sun that is the center of the solar system. The church got angry because it went against the Christian beliefs, church beliefs, and they burnt him to death in a stake. Means he was tied to a log of wood down and all, and he was burnt. And even Galileo was very poorly treated by the church because they wanted him to again address to the fact that the earth is the center. That I have already spoken to you. And then I told you that there is another fact called the Shroud of Turin. I went there. I went to Turin. It's a 1 hour train journey from Milan, Spain. From Milan in Italy. Milan in Italy. It's a 1 hour, it's in the northern Italy. It's called Shroud of Turin. In Italian, it is called Turino. The language, it's not Turin. It is English who call it Turin, Shroud of Turin. In Italian, it's called the Di Sacra Sintona, they say. La Sacra, they say. La Sacra or Di Sacra, La Sacra Sintona means the Shroud of Turin. And it is in a church in Turiano or Turin. I went to that. It was ruled by a small, these were all small city-states, city countries like Greece. You have Macedonia, you have Athens, you have Sparta, you have Thessaly, all city-states, like independent countries, state countries. Like modern Singapore now, if you want to have an example. So I went to the Turin, I went to the church where the linen was kept, and nobody was there in the church. They're all conducting public meetings and all outside the church with speakers and chairs put in. And I asked the guide, the local person whom I also know, he told it has been kept folded in a box, something like a coffin box, as you enter on the left hand side of the church. And it is nowadays available for public viewing only every 5 years. Even in Milan, in Italy, when I inquired, nobody knew about this. Then finally he Googled and found out, oh, you are talking of La Sacra Sintona. Oh, it is there. It is a Turiano. Oh, okay, it is in Turiano. We have not. But one of the old elderly person told me that it is brought out to the public because it is fragile. The cloth is about 14 foot long. And all of them in Turin, that is Turiano in Italy, agree that it's only a middle century painting. There, the Pope also, finally in 1350s, Pope Clement VII, he wrote a letter that this is a fake one. It is not the original Jesus Christ impression and all. It is not like that. And the artist who drew in a human blood, it was painted with a human blood. He also in 1398 wrote a letter to the church that sorry, it has been misinterpreted. It is I who have painted, and it is not the original Jesus Christ linen cloth at all as you think. And it subsequently a lot of popes have agreed. Even I think in 1893 a small portion was cut and given to University of Arizona, Oxford University, and a Swedish institute of some physical sciences. I think they all conducted that, and they said it's in the YouTube. Within 5 minutes we came to a conclusion that this cloth belongs to around 13th, 14th centuries. There are a lot of YouTubes, and when I went there and inquired also, everybody says it belongs to a Roman warrior prince, a prince who had died in the battle, and his figure was painted or something with human blood. So before that the commotion or the confusion saying that it's only the original, which when I went to the YouTube, everybody there, they say it's for making money because a lot of tourist attractions were there. Naturally, if you say it's the original cloth of Jesus Christ belonging to the 2000 years at that time, well, everybody would be interested. But now they want to tell the truth that is happening there now. Though some pastors, some preachers, some devout Catholics who have faith, they still say that the cloth which was cut is the bottom portion, the original portion. It is there in the center, that if you cut, it belongs to Christ period, Christ only and all. They are quoting. That's okay. But the fundamental, as per science, I have to rely only on science. And some said it is on human blood. So in 2018, again they checked the human blood portion of it, and they found out that it doesn't belong to that 2000 years human blood. No, not at all. Recently, 600, 700 years dried blood. Of course, it is in blood. Therefore, they say they, even as per the Pope, the locals, nobody now treats this as the shroud of Jesus Christ, his body, because the BBC's version, the history channels or historians' version is, Romans were not permitting anybody to be buried if they are charged under sedition. They only leave the body on the cross to be eaten away by the vultures. That's what the historians say. They come on the BBC documentary portion of it, Jesus Christ, if and all you can see. I saw that. I verified. I went there. So that is the second one. The third one, more pathetic, is with reference to India. They say St. Thomas came there and he was killed by a pujari with a shulai. Why they should say all these things? St. Thomas, let him come. How they know that he was killed by a pujari? He was by a Hindu pujari. All these things are stories, because even Pope Benedict in 2005 clearly says that St. Thomas did not come to India 2000 years back, because Thomas, one of his apostles, was a fisherman. Now to take a boat and come all the way to India, or walk down to India and come to the Kerala coast of Kranganur or all these things, it is very highly improbable. And he came here, and the story goes, if you see some movies and all, like St. Thomas Liga, he cures the dead, he cures the victim, he cures everything, but finally he could not cure himself. He was stabbed to death. That's what it means. See, let him die in what manner they want to explain. Okay, everybody is a human being after all. They are going to die. But let them not say that the Hindu pujari took his sword and killed him, as if they saw with their own eyes. There is no proof. These things are really unwarranted, untrue, and unwarranted. Let them say about the saint who preached for God, means fine. Who said Jesus was a God or whatever it you want to say, let him tell. I mean, there is no objection. But to put a blame on a Hindu pujari as if he's killed him with a shulayuda, it is absolutely wrong, because there is no fact about it. Why? Recently, if you take this Deva Sahayam Pillai issue, he converted to Christianity. So Rome, just now, about last 2-3 months back, they gave him a sainthood. The point is why? Because he was actually converted. Then Tiruvidangur Samasthanam, the Raja, because he converted, shot him to death with a pistol. What a blatant lie it is. Why? Because the truth says that the Raja, Tiruvidangur Rajas, never had a pistol. They might have had cannonballs. I don't say no, but pistol is a slightly an advanced version they never had. And there was nobody enrolled as a soldier by that name or nearby name in their army in those times, and nobody was killed with a pistol. Forget Deva Sahayam Pillai, but nobody was given a death sentence and executed through a pistol. Absolute malady, this one, all these things. They just want to try, and I want to do, because I am involved in Kerala, I am telling you a very important fact. Tiruvidangur Rajas are not like European Rajas. They are all very innocent. They are all Padmanabha Dasas. They are all divine spiritual people in the garb of a king. That's all. They are all divine people doing worship of Lord Padmanabha, and they consider Padmanabha as their deity, and they are only their custodians, even the jewelry now. It is too big a thing for them to execute a man just because he converted, as if he is going to convert the whole world. A soldier converting does not, if somebody else in our city converts to Christianity, it is not a big issue. See, these things deliberately, the Christian evangelists, they concoct a story like this and say that he was killed by a Hindu priest, he was killed by a Hindu king. See, these things should not come, because all Jesus Christ's disciples have died cruel death. Jesus Christ himself, his 12 disciples, why his apostles and disciples like St. Stephen was stoned to death by Caiaphas after 2 years after Christ period. Caiaphas was a disciple, he was not an apostle. Not Caiaphas, I'm sorry, Stephen. Stephen was a disciple, a follower of Christ, it appears as per the books, and he was stoned to death by Caiaphas, the high priest at that time. So, even St. Thomas, who doubted, it's called Doubting Thomas, when Caligula after 2 years of Christ, he again came back to Jerusalem to install his statue in the Jerusalem Jews temple. There was a big commotion, a lot of people died. Lot of followers of Christians at the time, whosoever, they died, and other Jewish leaders also died. The Jewish priests also died because a lot of commotion was there. Some say Caligula statue was broken, then they say because Jews, they don't have idol worship. They think that the Spirit of God is inside their temple. Just like we have in Chidambaram, if you go, there is the Akasha, that is God's, is in Akasha form, Arupi form. And you don't have an idol for that. Is in Agni form, is in Jala form, is in various forms of nature. One of such forms is the space, the Akasha. Likewise, Jews also worship in the same way. They have the Spirit of God, so they don't worship anybody in human form. And ask them, I will come to you, ask them, even till today, the messenger of God has not yet come. He comes only at the last end of the Kali Yuga. And then only at that time only the messenger of God's come. As yada yada hi dharmasya glanihir bhavati bharata abhyuddhanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. Bhagavan says that. I will come to that. You beautifully, everything, whatever is there is already covered in Bhagavad Gita or our Vedas, plus extras are there which they have not covered. So, this is very bad. See, and another thing, I was about truth, I suddenly remember, as I was sifting through the YouTube, I saw a video of Billy Graham, a very famous Christian preacher. Now, he was quoting, see, Jesus says, I am the truth, I am the light, I am the way. Okay, and whereas Buddha says, I am quoting him, whereas Buddha says, I am still searching for the truth. Therefore, Jesus is the truth and Buddha is not the truth. That is there in the YouTube. Well, my Mr. Billy Graham, had you been now along with me, we would have entered into an argument or a debate. When Jesus said, I am the truth, I am the life, or I am the way, then he says, nobody can go to my Father in heaven except through me. So I am the guide. That's what he means. When he says, I am the truth, I am the true guide. Just like I told you, my grandfather will say, I am the correct guide for Sabrimala if you want to go. Because in 1930s, Sabrimala is very difficult to approach. Late 30s. There is no way. It's all darkness, trees, foliages and all. Everybody says, I am the truth. Don't believe that fellow, that guide, because he may take you to be wrong way. I am the truth. So that as a guide, as a Acharya, Jesus would have said, that is the implication there. Secondly, when Buddha says, I am still searching for the truth, that is the truth. Why? Because Buddha talks through his body, and the body is perishable. The body is not eternal. Anything which is not eternal is untruth. A truth has to be eternal. That's what Buddha means. Absolutely perfect. Buddha told the truth to the world. Why? Because the body is perishable, so what is not perishable should be only the spirit. Now, what is its behavior, the life after death? I am still searching. Buddha told the truth. Whereas if you imply that Jesus tells the truth, where is the body of Jesus today? It's not there. His body has perished. That means when he talks through his body, then you have to infer that he talks through his spirit. Now, where is his spirit? That's also been not relieved. His body has perished, so one portion is perished. So that is not the truth. A truth has to be eternal. See, there are a lot of untruths on which the Christian missionaries, especially the European evangelists, have doctored the Indian preachers. But if they come for a debate, I would welcome a debate, because a lot of such factors I could expose out. Lot of such factors. Therefore, when they see all these things, when you talk of Shroud of Turin or when you talk of St. Thomas or this, see, these are not based on actual facts. So they have also dropped, the European evangelists, they have dropped using the word of Jesus, and now more of them, they say the God is eternal, and some say Jesus is the Savior. There is one YouTube channel, you can go and type out as, who is Jesus to you? The researcher from America, his name is Shinkla, they pronounce that, is interviewing, and none of the Jews accept Jesus as even the messenger of God. He says he's a good teacher maybe. We have our own text, we have our own traditions, they say. There are I saw about 7 to 8 interviewed people by the interviewer. We may be, but we follow our religion, our tradition, that God is immortal and He is arupi. He does not have form. He does not have a character. Jesus may be a good preacher, but we don't follow Jesus. Neither is He a messenger of God. Very categorically they say. You can go and type out, who is Jesus to you, in YouTube. You can find out. I am quoting from that only. Therefore, the very fact that all these things, when the preachers like Billy Graham or Benny Hinn, they say, oh, see, this blind man is now seeing. This man is walking. Well, your basic in Bible, in Genesis, if you disobey your God, the eyes of Adam and Eve popped out. They opened. Because they disobeyed God. They were created blind by God. Because they ate the fruit from the tree of knowledge. The tree had both bad and evil. Okay, that's okay. But because they ate and disobeyed the God, their eyes popped out. Whereas how we pray in Hinduism, oh God, open my eyes so that I see the truth. Don't keep me blind. A blind is a negative factor, is it not? Come on, let us have a common sense thinking. If a person is blind, he is handicapped. Now, if you open his eyes, he is now given the divine light vision. You cannot see through your eyes, Arjuna. I will give you divine eyes, then you can see my yoga Aishwaryam. That's what you say. The Bhagavan says. Natu shakyate tva shakshusha divyam dadami chakshute pashya mama yogir Aishwaryam. In short, I am giving you. You cannot see with your own eyes, but I am giving you the divine eyes. You can see my Vishwarupa, mama yoga Aishwaryam, you can see. So, the culture, the logic becomes different. Here, if you open our eyes and if your eyes are opened, you see the truth. There, if your eyes are opened, you have disobeyed the God. Well, I can point out such, that why I'm not here to belittle or berate any religion, but when these Christian preachers, the parishioners come and destroy our faith and calling us as infidels, like Francis Xavier said, infidels, well, that is not true. We are not infidels. We are very superior. If they come, I will bring lots of texts from the Vedas, the Rig Vedas, the Gitas and all. I can just say they have only about 25,000 verses in Bible. Old Testament is nothing but history. And some 400, 500 verses of Jesus Christ. And most of them I do accept because an Acharya. Some I don't accept. When he says, I have come here to create division and not to peace. Divide a family, 3 to 2 brothers. Sorry, it's there. In St. John's or St. Luke's, I've already told you that hate your father, hate your mother, then only you can be my disciple. St. Luke's 14 verses 23 and you can say 29. That's the cost of you becoming my disciple. Well, I would say I don't want disciples like that. I would say the Hinduism says, you serve your mother first. You serve your father first. You serve your brothers. You serve your wife. Otherwise, how will the family be together? Then you come to me last. That's what the Vedas says. Matru Devo Bhava, we saw already that. So the context is different. The culture is different. The logic is different. Though worship of God is there. Now, whether you are going to worship Jesus as a God, which he never accepts, that he is the God. He only is a messenger. That's what in Quran also he says, a servant of God. He himself, he says, my father, my father, my father in heaven. And Jews would not, the Judaism, they do not accept anybody even as a messenger of God till the end of the universe. See, their logic, their structure, their science, it's not up to the mark. As a person interested in physics, I have already told you, the stars were created and then comes on the 5th day or something, on the 4th day, the sun and the moon. The star itself is an ordinary, the sun. If you say star, it itself is an ordinary sun. And stars give light. Sun gives light. The light comes from the sun. Okay, light is not formed. There was a universal light. Okay. But after the star itself is a sun. After stars, the sun and the moon cannot come. So, my dear friends, the point is, when they say that we have the power to cure you, they don't have any power to cure anybody other than, if at all it comes through a placebo effect. That's what Sir James Jeans, I'm quoting Western authors just for these our Indian Christian preachers. They all rely upon Western authors and not our Vedas. But he also says the weak butterfly sometimes will flap in an African forest. Even it cannot even breathe properly, but it will flap its wings, and then some storm occurs in the northern Atlantic Ocean. So people will attribute, because the butterfly has a divine spirit, it flaps and the storm occurs. Likewise, the placebo effect can come by chance, by fluke. But the cure, actual cure, because you know that power of frequency of if you worship only Christ and others are all, you will go to hell. If you worship, they are all Satans, they are all evils, don't worship them, don't do aradhana to them, don't pray to them, they are all Satans, evils, is wrong. That type of a worship is wrong, because as much as if Jesus can cure, our gods can equally cure or better, because they are all governed by the laws of nature. Nowadays, even top class scientific philosophers or psychologists or psychiatrists say we are all governed by the laws of nature, the forces of the universe, the positivity of universe. Positivity, there is a particular frequency, happiness, success and all. Negativity, there is a particular frequency, sorrow, defeat, thinking that you are sinners. Now you can land in any of these frequencies depending on what you want, because those electrons in those frequencies do not know what is good or what is bad for you. They are simply attracted under the laws of gravity. And under the laws of attraction, there are gravitational forces. So if you start worshipping a person hanging from a cross, bleeding and other things, and saying he has died for sinners, nothing but way to make money by the Romans, by the European Christians, I would not accept. If you want, you can meditate on Christ as a person, because you don't have any figure, or meditate on Om. It's a better symbol because it's a positive symbol. Or meditate, if you think Christ has saved you, meditate him as a person, as a figure, as a man, in a human form, not on a cross, on a bleeding cross. As I showed, I have given you very many examples of bleeding crosses in Europe, where how many people have this sickness called hemophilia, where their blood does not coagulate. Therefore, my dear friends, this is just to say that the wrongful, any logic based on wrongful facts should be ignored. For any religion, whether it is Hinduism or whether it is Islam or Christianity, on wrongful facts, no. Always think positive. Always think about the Almighty. Always try to, as our Hinduism says, try to serve your parents, try to serve your brothers and sisters, try to serve your wife, your family, or wife means the husband. First, that is important. Then, rather than always thinking of God, you can meditate, nothing to enter into a positive frequency. But this is more important, service to others and having a good mind, eightfold noble path that Buddha has beautifully advised. He was much before Christ. When lots of such moral codes are there, human service is very factually important, rather than to promote your culture on us. Us means on Hindus. We have beautiful culture. Now every world, every civilization is now longing to go back to their culture. Right now I have told you, in the Hellenistic culture in Greece have started from 2017. They miss their culture. The Babylonian culture is lost. The Babylonian culture is lost. The Sumerian culture is lost. The Assyrian lost. Even the Greco civilizations, the Roman civilizations, you may call as pagan gods, but those gods were giving what is known as placebo effect to them, some power to them. Once Romans became Christians and started doing this, the fall of Roman Empire, you must have seen in records. Around 300, the Alakri came and looted Rome, and fall of Roman Empire got dissolved. Their lovely Persian culture is lost. They are trying to get, but they can't get. But our Hindu Vedic civilization culture, Indus civilization, we have to keep it intact. For that, I only salute the present government who wants to keep their treasure intact. Nothing wrong. As you can worship any god in any manner you want, as long as you worship a god and be good to the society. That is most important. I am telling to my Christian evangelists. Don't unnecessarily, as Swami Dayananda Saraswati wrote to the Pope, violate our culture. We are also worshipping God. We are not atheists. We are theists. Okay, my dear friends, I shall continue more of it till such time. Bhuyat tavat Shubhamangalam Dirghayushman Bhava Stribhya Dirgha Sumangali Bhava Sarvavyadi Nivarana Praptirastu Sarva Aishwaryam Abhivriddhir Bhavatu Sarva Mangalani Bhavantu Tadastu.